Hi, I'm Scott Lowery. I'm coming to you from Rolling Stone, Minnesota, and I'm glad to be part of this 2021 RAA member exhibit and showcase. For my part here, I'm going to read three recent poems. I'll start with two that were written about a year ago during the very early weeks of the pandemic. Incidentally, both of these poems appear in a brand new anthology, Sheltering with Poems, Community and Connection During COVID, from Bent Paddle Press in Madison, Wisconsin. The first one is called The Bargaining Stage. One more morning of nothing yet. Into this vigilant listening, stiff green spears have pushed up overnight. Did they say something? Just birdsong in the bare trees. Sometimes a siren. Back indoors, my hands under the tap, scrubbing themselves red, when I hear a familiar back brain yapping and think, okay, at least this one I know. If I learn to love one week after another, one day like the next, on the wide prairie of what we don't know. If I hold the worst news at 6 feet and wean myself from wanting it. If we can warm to these new go-betweens, porous or not, safer than skin, if we admit we're all confirmed cases, then what's left to wish? Well, of course, another hour, another year, return to the crowded hall, the coughing throng, shoulder to shoulder among our fellow mortals. Meanwhile, an April wind sharpens its knives as my son heads out to get us groceries, intent, making no wrong moves. So listen, keep him safe in his casual armor, and you can name your price. My second COVID poem came about as we were all experiencing way more questions than answers. Still the case to some extent, of course. This one is called FAQ. How far, how near, how much, how long? Deeper and deeper into the night sky, or the space from one breath to another, or the opposite of distance, as much as a percent of a percent, as much as the line forms here and goes to there, or used to. When did, when would, when will, when is? That depends. Some models are made of polystyrene, of balsa wood, of indigenous bones and tar sand. Remember how you'd hold your watch to your ear, shake it, then listen again? Now we track the whisper of numbers in real time, unreeling, tick by tick. Who knew, who guessed, who says? The president announced in the Rose Garden today he can tie his own shoes, and will. Our founding fathers may have seen this in their nightmares, the mad king, the latest plague. So blame the roses, the takeout tacos, men without masks. You still have the right to remain silent. Our votes don't count, not until we all learn something new. What gives? What kills? What stops? What starts? Everyone's reading again. Stealth deliveries spike on piled up porches while the market prints its own silver linings. What if they gave a pandemic and everyone and their dog came out to walk in the sunlight, chaperoned by small children, in all the unbleached blooming? Where can, where can't, whereas, where now? Spring break moves to happy hour at the ICU. Drinking, still essential, unlike libraries. Ghost town playgrounds. Sirens approach, recede, next neighborhood over, next continent over, as in finished, but over and over. You've been rerouted, as have the roads. Wrap yourself inside. Why did? Why don't? Why should? Why not? Why might? Because we're all in this together means an ocean, and where are the boats? Because safety is a thin-shelled egg and we want to look. Because the biped mammals still make a tribe. Even intubated, even roaming empty streets, our eyes meet, our hands flutter up, saying, yes, okay for now, you too, whoever you are, goodbye, goodbye. And I'd like to finish up with another recent poem, shorter one, addressed to my brother, pondering some details of a particular childhood memory that might be familiar to you if you grew up in the 1950s. This is called To My Brother Again. Remember that Lionel train set? I can still feel the locomotive's dense heft, the nudge and twist it took to join the tracks, can hear the satisfying click when the switches worked. You'd be surprised too, I bet. So much intact where we left it, in memory's storage space. Smoke pellets in their pill jar, faceless little men waiting for wooden milk cans at the siding. Here's Dad, swearing as his thick fingers try but fail to tighten sharp, bright wire on stubborn screws. Tobacco haze, sweetened by 3-in-1 oil, ozone's silent sizzle. And then how it finally ran on its own, turn after turn. Dad switched off the overhead, and there was the tiny headlight, circling in the dark. What we could see, surrounded by all we could not. If you enjoyed that last one, please check out a new e-chapbook called Bright Light Stories in the Night. This is a project out of Rochester. 6 poems by Southeast Minnesota poets are paired with artwork by regional artists. Mike King did some beautiful drawings for mine, one for each of those 4 stanzas, and you can even see these in person on view through mid-March at SEMVA, or SEMVA, 320 South Broadway in Rochester. I'm going to leave it to webmaster Heidi Bryant to add the appropriate links for the COVID anthology, the e-chapbook, and the poem/art exhibit that I've just mentioned. And thanks for listening.